is a power player? I mean, who could it be? How does that person look? How does that person move? You mentioned that they leave an aroma in the room, but
Yeah.
who is a power player?
Well, it goes back to the attributes that I mentioned, which is, someone that has presence, is iconic, who understands that the environment and the motivation and inspiration that they bring to themselves, they give it to others. And then when you see that person, they're always the person in the arena doing something positive and good, not only for themselves, but for others. I consider those power players, people that have influencing capabilities to lead people to visionary spaces of something positive, right? So if I name a few for me, if you don't mind, in my time, even today, I mentioned earlier as we were talking offline, Florine Mark. I look at her as a power player. Over the years, someone who decided a long time ago that they were going to establish this Weight Watchers organization from little of nothing, who brought it from the idea to the actual organization today that it is. I consider her a power player because not only did she have a vision, but she also implemented that vision to action, and she did it in a way that over time she brought others with her, right? So again, I believe the power player is not all about me and me only. It has to do with what are you doing not only in the marketplace, in your personal life, but what are you doing also for others, and that people are still talking about that player as a person to watch. I mean, I could tell you, I look at Michelle Obama. I've never met her, but if I were going to emulate someone as to integrity, as to going higher and doing things that even when people rub her, I read her book, the wrong way, it still turns out that she's still doing a service. Even outside of the White House, she's still doing a service to those that are following her, right? And so I believe power players are people that not only have people wanting to understand how that star is shining, but how can I also emulate for me based on who I am and how I'm going to emulate it, but not exactly like her, but in my own space. What can I do to be that positive effect and impact to have results that people want to be connected to?
You know, the next question was, can power players work with others? And you clearly answered that,
Yes.
that they almost have to
They have to.
work with others well.
Right. I mean, collaboration, I mentioned that. I mean, I think about today, Vanessa, and the reason that this book is so relevant is because if you don't know how to play in the rules of the game, you're not going to at all get to that point of what you call success. And success is that they're there for that person, whatever that there is. We all have our own way of defining success. But in my opinion, with the working from home and no one necessarily working the way we used to work, where you had to go to work 9 to 5, you had to be in the building all day, that is not how people work today. We work in WeWork spaces, we work around the different, from home. So when you think about that, the toughest part for companies today is trying to figure out how to bring people together in a collaborative way because they're not in the same space often enough. And if you translate that to power playing, if I'm not in an environment where people see me, they understand my talents, my competencies, and my contributions, then I must have to do something differently to become that player of influence for those people, meaning I need to seek them out. I need to ask, can I help them? Even if it's, through the technology today, but it's collaborating and having that power to bring people together. Does that make sense?
It absolutely, especially our global
absolutely.
Working today.
Absolutely.
They may be across a continent.
Quite frankly, it's more and more apparent that the biggest problem for companies today is how we're keeping people together to work together and that they don't become further independent. U.S. is known for independence. When you think about Germany and Europe and the countries outside of the United States, they've always been known for dependence and working with one another. We've always been independent. And it's even gotten to the places worse where everybody's working from home. So the deal is power players will need to understand, especially as leaders, how to bring those people together in a space that we're still accomplishing the goals that we're all trying to get to.